Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a question that every single school in Aotearoa is grappling with right now. How do you actually build an AI policy that's smart, safe, and, actually works? Because with AI moving at this incredible speed, having a plan isn't just an option anymore. It's essential. So, let's get into it.
So I'm going to ask you straight up, is your school really ready for what's happening with AI? And I'm not talking about some far-off future. This isn't hypothetical. AI is already in your classrooms. Your students are using it, whether you've got a policy in place for it or not.
The first reaction from a lot of education systems was, well, total panic. Just look across the ditch at Australia. When tools like ChatGPT blew up, their first move was a blanket ban. They were worried about plagiarism, right? But they figured out pretty quickly that banning AI is like trying to ban the internet. It's just not going to work. So now the whole conversation has done a complete 180. It's shifted from ban it to, okay, how do we embrace this thing responsibly? It just shows you how fast everyone is scrambling to keep up.
And here's the number that shows exactly why that scramble is so urgent. A recent UK study found that a staggering 80% of teenagers are already using generative AI. Just let that sink in for a second. This isn't some niche tech for a few kids. For students, it's quickly becoming as normal as using a search engine. Okay, so with that many students already on board, it's really tempting to just jump straight into writing a list of rules. But hold on. The best policies, the ones that last, they start somewhere deeper. Before we even think about the do's and don'ts, we've got to figure out our ethical compass. That set of core values that's going to guide every single decision we make about this tech.
And this is probably the most important idea to get your head around. Your AI policy shouldn't be seen as just some dry tech document. It's really a statement about your school's character. What do you guys value? Creativity, critical thinking, teamwork? Your policy needs to be built to make sure AI supports those values, not undermines them. It's about making the tech serve your mission, not the other way around.
Now, the good news is we don't have to pull these values out of thin air. These core principles right here, they're adapted straight from New Zealand's own official AI framework, and they give us a really powerful foundation. We're talking about using AI responsibly, making sure everyone has fair access, being totally transparent about how it's used, keeping a human at the center of it all, and, of course, keeping our data safe. If you build your policy on these pillars, you know you're aligned with the best thinking in the country from day one.
And right here in the context of Aotearoa, there is one more principle that is completely and utterly non-negotiable: Māori data sovereignty. This is all about recognizing the inherent right of Māori under Te Tiriti o Waitangi to control Māori data, how it's collected, who owns it, and how it's used. Any AI policy for a school in New Zealand has to have this principle baked in from the very beginning. It's fundamental.
All right, so with our ethical compass set, now we can start translating those big ideas into practical, everyday rules for both students and teachers. This is where the policy stops being a document and starts becoming part of the daily life of your school. So, what does good AI used in the classroom actually look like? Let's talk about the green lights. AI can be an amazing learning partner, right? Think of it as a brainstorming buddy to smash through writer's block, or a research assistant that helps you explore a new topic. It can even act like a personalized tutor, helping a student nail their pronunciation in a new language. You see the pattern? In every case, the key is that it's enhancing learning, not replacing the learner.
And now for the red lights, the hard lines we have to draw. Handing in AI-generated work and calling it your own, that's plagiarism. Full stop. Using it to just automate your entire assignment or write your exam answers, that totally defeats the whole purpose of learning. It's also so important that students aren't using it to just bypass learning fundamental skills, like getting an AI summary instead of actually reading the book. And of course, an absolute no-go zone, using AI to create anything harmful, discriminatory, or inappropriate.
The New Zealand Ministry of Education really hits the nail on the head with this one. When we're talking about assessment, about marks and grades, the line has to be crystal clear. We have to be 100% sure that we're grading a student's actual knowledge and their own skills, not just how good they are at writing an AI prompt. This goes right to the heart of academic integrity.
Okay, so beyond the classroom rules, there's another duty of care here that is, again, absolutely non-negotiable, and that's protecting privacy and data. And look, this isn't just an IT problem for the tech department to solve. It's a massive ethical and legal shield for your students, your staff, your entire school community. On this point, the guidance from the Ministry of Education could not be more direct. The default position for every school has to be this: do not let staff or students input personal or sensitive information into these public AI tools, unless you have an ironclad guarantee from the company that the data won't be saved or shared. The risk is just way too high.
And this isn't just a friendly suggestion, this is the law. The Privacy Act 2020 puts clear responsibilities on schools. It boils down to this: you can only collect information you actually need, you have to protect it properly, people have a right to see and correct their info, and you absolutely cannot share it without a lawful reason. Any AI tool you bring into your school has to be able to tick all of those boxes.
So what does that look like in the real world? It means you have to do your homework. Before you roll out any new AI tool, you need to do what's called a privacy impact assessment. It means making sure your digital defenses are strong. Things like network filters and keeping all your software updated. And this one is so important. It means someone has to actually read the fine print and vet the privacy policies of these third-party companies.
Okay, so we've got our principles, we've got our rules, we've got our privacy safeguards locked down, but none of that means anything if the policy just sits in a digital folder somewhere collecting dust. The final and most critical piece of the puzzle is actually putting it into practice, turning this document into everyday action.
Now, this can seem like a huge job, but if you break it down into a roadmap, it's totally manageable. First up, you form a task force. Get everyone in the room: teachers, IT people, students, even parents. Then you draft the policy, and this is key, you share it out and consult with your community to get their feedback. After that, you have to train your staff and educate your students so everyone knows what's expected. And finally, because AI changes so fast, you have to schedule regular reviews to make sure your policy doesn't get outdated.
Because at the end of the day, this whole exercise isn't about compliance or just ticking a box to say you've done it. The real goal, the true prize here, is to build a school-wide culture, a culture of digital fluency and a culture of academic integrity. It's about getting our kids ready to be capable, confident, and ethical people in a world where AI is absolutely everywhere. So I'll leave you with this one last thought to chew on. As these AI tools get smarter and smarter and become more and more a part of our lives, the biggest challenge for all of us as educators might just be this: how we make sure that our teaching and our schools always stay profoundly and unshakably human-centered. Thanks for watching.